If you love Iron Man, you might have seen this colossal 24-inch light-up model with real metal parts, 52 points of articulation, and best of all, you get to build it yourself. This subscription build by Fanhome comes with illustrated magazines, posters, free gifts, and a whole lot more. But is it worth it? Should you buy it? Stay with us as we review the Iron Man Mark III armor, what you get in the box, and even the customer service. Keep watching. This is your Geek Fix. Now, Fanhome makes large figures and also movie props that light up and move or are able to do different things. Usually there's a lot of metal parts and it's pretty exciting. But the biggest part to it is that you are building it yourself. It's a subscription service in which you receive issues of a magazine that talk about the thing that you're building or that you're interested in, and then at the end also provide you instructions on how to put it together. And you get so many parts at a time that you then assemble, and by the end of so many weeks or months or years, you have something big that you've actually collected. Now, in my last video, I actually got into a conversation with somebody online about subscription services, and specifically Fanhome and some of the models that they have, because I was interested. I mean, I've been looking into this. I've seen a lot of these ads, and particularly the Iron Man and the R2-D2 were of a lot of interest to me, but they're not cheap. Over the course of months, it adds up what you're paying for. And so I was a little leery, and at the same time very interested. And I said in the video, if they wanted to reach out to me, or maybe I tried to reach out to them, then I'd be happy to review the product. And surprisingly, it was only about 2 days later that I received an email inviting me to review the product. They were basically saying, give it a chance, and that they'd send it out to me. And so I said, sure, I'd do it. They also offered to actually pay me to review it, which I declined because I wanted to be able to do it in a fair and objective way. So while they did send us the model to review, this is not a sponsored video. Now, while I can review what the actual quality of the product is, I won't be able to fully review the experience of purchasing it because I didn't purchase it. And that is very different, by the way. So with Fanhome, if you do purchase this, it also comes with a lot of other extra goodies, and also you have a slightly different interactive experience. But I think I can cover at least what I'm seeing and some of the experience of putting it together. I also had the opportunity to review their customer service. I was given a subscription. That means that you actually get to log in, you create a profile, and then you're able to track your product and know different things about it. But when I went in to set up my profile, it didn't work. And so I decided I better call their customer service using an opportunity. I could have contacted the agent that's working with me for these reviews, but instead I decided to check out the customer service.
Thank you for calling Fanhome. How may I help you today?
Yeah, I'm having some problems being able to log into my account.
Okay.
They worked with me very well. They were able to explain to me what I needed to do. They sent me an email and had further correspondence to make it work out, and it was a pleasant experience. So my experience with their customer service was actually very positive. I'll also say that when I got on, it lets you track where your package is, and when I was tracking it, it went from kind of sitting for a couple days, all of a sudden it was just here. I am, though, in the same state, I found out, as where they're being shipped from, so that definitely sped up the process. When you get the package and it arrives on your door, this is what it looks like. I got 2 boxes, actually, because they also sent me the R2-D2 to review, which I'll be doing in a different video. As you can see on the outside, we have the Fanhome logo. On the side, we have social media, connect, capture, watch, and on the back, we also have the Fanhome logo. When you open it up, what you'll see inside is, first off, a pamphlet that has Fanhome written on one side, and on the other side, it says, "The journey begins here, Iron Man Mark III armor." And when you open that, there is a letter to the customer saying, "Dear modeler, welcome to Fanhome. We're glad that you joined us and are sure that you'll love this completely addictive journey into the build-up modeling." Build-up modeling, that's what they refer to it as. A lot of the other ones are part builds. In every package, you'll receive parts of the model and magazines with easy-to-follow assembly guides. The magazines also include amazing articles, interesting facts, and plenty of hints and tips. Everything, of course, officially licensed. Enjoy the journey, Fanhome team. So that's very nice. And then we have another pamphlet here that has Fanhome on the outside. And on the inside, it kind of unfolds funny. It's not a booklet, it looks like. We make fandom stories for you. Love lasts forever. Unique collectibles. Up here we have the car from Fast and Furious. We have all the companies that they're licensing with. We have Naruto, and it looks like Street Fighter, as well as our R2-D2, which we'll be reviewing in another video. And then we have... Wait a minute. So it looks like I've got 3 magazines here, but maybe not. So this might be some kind of summary, but behind it are my Volume 1 and Volume 2. So this is, it looks like just a description about the model itself. Build Tony Stark's legendary Mark III armor. It does show that we have the arc reactor, the hand that lights up, the eyes that light up. I'll also say that I'm already aware, unlike a lot of other Iron Man models, that this also has the areas on the feet that light up, and a lot of really small and intricate details and parts. Oh, this is a poster, I think. On the inside, it shows that we have 52 individual joints. So this is a jointed model. It's made of both metal and injection molded plastic parts, and all pieces have been designed, sculpted, and painted to the finest detail. Batteries are included. I haven't seen those yet. Oh, look, we have batteries. Looks like a 3-volt. Oh, they're all 3-volt batteries. 4 3-volt batteries that I guess we're going to need eventually. We see all the opening parts. Look at all the details. They open and close. Now, if you order this is something I don't think I'm going to be able to experience in the same way that anyone else that purchases this would. There are gifts that you get along the way with your building pieces. And so one of the first gifts is 3 Iron Man posters that look pretty cool. The second gift is a hat. The third gift is an arc reactor t-shirt. The fourth one is an Iron Man power jack, which I would actually like if they did send it. That would be awesome. The fifth gift is an Iron Man backpack, also very cool. But the sixth one is something that I hope I get. It would be very cool because it is actually the stand for this figure. It looks like it does have an actual part that holds it up. I don't know if it'll let it kind of fly or be in that flying position, but it is a light up base, which would be just awesome. This is a large figure, like I said, so that would be pretty impressive. I don't know how tall it could be. In case you didn't know, I love Iron Man. I mean, that is my favorite part of the MCU, and I love the Iron Man armor. My favorite is actually the Mark 42, but let me know in the comments below what your favorite armor is. So a couple of years ago, I actually did a 1/4 scale build in relation to an Iron Man figure, and that is smaller, believe it or not, than this build. I think this is almost closer to a 1/3 scale. So I can only imagine how tall it would be on top of that base. It would be very neat. As you can see down below, this is how the different magazines are. They give you information about Iron Man and the MCU, and then goes on to give you instructions on how to build him. And when you open this up, inside we have this large poster, which is pretty cool. Has the Mark III. I think that's the actual figure too. That's not just a screen capture. And then down here we have the Fanhome logo, and over here we have the Marvel logo. So that's pretty cool. Now, I should say too that when you order this, the first and second volumes actually are discounted. So when you buy it, the first one is $1. Also online it indicates that there's an exclusive gift that you can get, which is an Iron Man Bluetooth speaker, which is the helmet that lights up and has a Bluetooth speaker inside. And it looks like it's half scale. So that's pretty awesome. That comes with shipment 16. Check out the link in the description below on ordering this and any other information that you want to know. Then we get down to the parts that are underneath that are tied to each of those issues. I'll give you more information on this. I would not throw out these boxes, and I'll tell you more reasons why for that in a minute. But hold on to those boxes even after you're done with the build. In the meantime, I'm going to move this box out of the way so that we have some room to start with issue 1. On the front, as far as I can see, both of these issues say Discover the History of Iron Man on the top. This one is marked as the movie special issue, so it's related to that particular movie, whereas a lot of the other ones are focused more on everything from the history within the MCU to even the design. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So if you're wondering about customer service and how to contact Fanhome, once when you have your parts or if there's any issues, all of that information is located right inside the first page. Now the thing about this is part of that experience piece. I think there's a lot of people that would just purchase this. If you're just purchasing this just to build it, I mean, not that that's not fine, but at the same time, where the pleasure is going to come from is the overall experience. So being able to read about what you're building, kind of getting you into the mood of it and giving you additional information and knowledge. And keep in mind that really everything within the MCU has a lot of different stories to them. I mean, you've got everything from what is canon to non-canon. You have multiverses now. You have information that this changed over time, because when Iron Man first came out, we were talking about different wars and villains at that point in time. Things had to be tweaked a little bit when the movie came out. I'll say, having gone through the magazine, it is actually pretty informative. I liked a lot of the information that was in it. It had some great pictures as well. And it doesn't just cover the Mark III, by the way. This is really covering all the different armor. In fact, here I have everything from the Mark I to the Ironmonger into the Mark III. And then we turn the page and we're into the model building. We're ready to start putting together our parts. So I'm gonna push this out of the way a little bit. This is the first box that I'm gonna be opening. And as you can see here, I have part of actually the whole thing is the helmet, I do believe. Sometimes they send you parts, though, that you won't be putting them together until later and that belong to other things, I know. But I think that this one's pretty much complete. So once when I'm done with this issue, I'll have a full Iron Man helmet. And this is all in issue 1. Again, look at the size of that faceplate. That is huge compared to any of my figures. So I'm very excited about this. Now, as I mentioned earlier, one thing that you're going to be doing with this is being really careful with the packaging, and I'll show you more about that here in a moment. Since this is my first time of opening it, I'm not sure if we have double plastic, so I guess I don't need the back so much. I'm not going to worry about losing the cardboard. Perfect. Now, as you can see, both sides have plastic, and that plastic does slip apart. So that means that I have a nice way to be able to keep this in its individual pieces and yet still organized. And that afterwards, if I have any leftover pieces, I can always put them back into here to keep them organized for the future, because you're going to have to keep track of a lot of stuff over a period of time. So I'd highly recommend keeping these plastic parts. Now, it's also organized for this reason. So I have screws, multiple screws, and one of their assembly tips that's over here, preventing those screws from getting mixed up as you receive each issue. So we definitely want to keep them, and they are marked, like this one's BP, this one's EP, so at least I can kind of keep track of that sort of thing. So I'm not going to bust it all out like a lot of people might want to. I'm going to keep it organized for right now, and I'm going to follow my instructions, which start with this stage 1, the LED assembly. Wow, that's pretty cool. We're starting right off with some electronics. So I'm wanting the full headpiece, which is right here, and I'm going to be taking that and I'm going to be flipping it over. This also came with a screwdriver, by the way, and it's only with this first issue, I believe. Now, this is a magnetized screwdriver, so I'm able to pick up screws with it, so that's pretty nice. And they even went as far as making it an Iron Man color, or at least something close to it. I will say also about the helmet, this is really heavy. I mean, it's a nice die-cast metal, has painted details already on it that are very nicely done. Very, very nice looking, and it's a good weight too. Very high quality. I'm impressed. So we're taking this helmet right here. I also need my EM screws. So I'll bring in all the screws here, and I'm looking for EM, which is this one. And I'm gonna put some of those screws right there. And then I should be able to pick those screws up. So the first thing is position the support post 1H. 1H is this black post, which in here is right here. This. And I'm gonna screw that into place right here with these two screws. Two. Alright, so that's the support post. Now I'm going to take the LED assembly, which is right here, and I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to untangle that first. Next we take the LED assembly, 1G, and put it into the, wait a minute. Oh, I see. I was thinking, so you take it and you push it downward into this area, and I was thinking, oh, well then how am I going to get the batteries in there? And of course there's a hole in the top. That's where we're going to stick them in. That makes sense. Just not thinking ahead here. I'll give this to them. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that I feel like could have been pre-done just so they made sure that you weren't going to do the wrong thing, but nope. They're going to have you do it all, so let's see here. Now we're going to take this visor base right here, and we're going to stick it into the helmet from the front, which I made the mistake initially of trying to push it in through the back. And it has a little area here it'll connect to. Then we take this LED support right here, and we're going to stick the LEDs through those holes. It doesn't matter which one is on which side, just stick each of those through the holes like this, and then we're going to stick that in behind the visor in the helmet and attach that using 2 EM screws. We're going to fix this helmet support, which is this round piece right here, and we're going to attach that to the base plate right here with 3 AP screws. Then we take that assembly and we're going to put it into the helmet base using 2 EM screws. Next part, we're going to take these 2 earpieces. The thing that separates the 2 of them is that one of them has a magnet, the other one has a hole. We're going to take the one with the hole. We're going to be taking this small switch piece and screwing it onto that earpiece using a BP screw. Next, we're going to take that earpiece and we're going to stick it in so the switch is pointing downward into the slot. Then we're going to take the LED switch and connect it using a BP screw. So every time the earpiece turns, it will push the switch together, causing it to connect and to turn on. It's pretty simple, but it seems to work. So now just slightly rotating it will turn on and off the light. Now we're going to bring the top helmet and the base of the helmet together, and we're going to attach that using 3 EM screws. With that, it's nice and tight. Looks pretty good. So we're going to be taking one of the batteries and putting it in sideways, making sure that it's connected the correct direction. So negative is on the left, positive is on the right. I'm kind of surprised about that. That's just one battery doing that. I think each of my Hot Toys and even this model over here have like 3 in them. So we're just going to go with that one battery. Then I'm going to screw on the top of the battery case, also using an EP screw. I'll screw that in. There we go. Next, I'm going to take this left earpiece, which is magnetized, as you can see, and just pop it right on, just like that. Perfect. That's very cool. Which, to note, look how similar. I mean, that's plastic. That's a plastic part, and it really matches the metal very well. So now we're going to take the faceplate, which looks beautiful. Look at all the details inside that faceplate. I could go through and actually paint some of those details, but I don't see the point since it's going to be closed all the time. I'm going to take my lenses first, and I'm going to stick them into here, just like so. Whoops. And they kind of just snap into place for the most part. Now I just need to put in a little screw right here. I will say that I'm learning how I would organize things a little differently next time to keep track of my screws and things. There we go. And then I'm going to fix the visor, which is this, I think. Yep. And that looks pretty awesome. Okay. Now the last step is I'm going to just put that faceplate right onto the front here, like so. And then I'll turn the light to see if it lights up. So let's see here, left side, right? There it is. So there's my glowing eyes. And so it looks really good. I mean, the details on it and the paint job and everything looks great. I'm really impressed with it. And it is all, everything on the outside pretty much, except for the ears, are metallic. So pretty heavy. And the lights work great. Like I said, one thing I like about this, they hid things so well. So they hid that battery pretty well on the inside, as well as hiding the switch here on the ear. That's pretty good, and it works really well. So love it. So heavy too, and that is really heavy. And you can see by the size of my hand how big that is. I mean, that is a big helmet. I mean, compared to my 1/4 scale, it's almost twice as big. So that's pretty amazing. So I get that it's supposed to be 24 inches tall, but I don't see how it could be. That would be right about here. And honestly, I think that it's got to be even bigger than that for it to, yeah, it's got to be like this tall. So I don't know. Pretty amazing though. So that's just the head. Now, one thing I did say is to hold on to these, and that's so that we can hold on to parts like this. Look at that. Fits right in there just fine. And then I can also put any leftover parts in here, and so I know that when they call for them later on, I've got some way to come back and put them in there. So there we go. So now I've got a good holding spot for all my parts. After we put it together, there's also another section which is covering a battle that actually occurred in Iron Man, but different version from the original comics, and they even give you the comics that are tied to it, and breaking it down into each of its components. So that's kind of cool. And then on the back of each of these, we also have something that shows us the comics that it was based on. In this case, it was Iron Man Volume 1. Number 200, and then it also tells you about the next issue, which I happen to have right here. So join us next time as we explore Volume 2, assemble this huge and heavy articulating foot with light, tell you more things to know about Fanhome, and so much more. So hit that reminder bell so you know when the next video comes out, as well as the R2-D2 build. In the meantime, like, subscribe, comment below. This is your Geek Fix.